Who are we if the history that defines our reality is inaccurate? Our past is meant to be a navigational tool that guides us towards our future. But if our compass is not true, then where are we headed? In this video, I will present facts about the reality of the world that you live in and why it's been kept secret from you. To ensure that our understanding of history is not biased or incomplete, and that we do not distort important perspectives and truth, it is truly important to examine our past. The untold story of the history of the world.
African Americans built this nation. We built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
To truly comprehend what he is saying, it is important for the world to understand the truth. No matter how uncomfortable it makes you, it is for the good of all. These are the buildings that were made by the people who existed before your current government entities. These people and their culture were global, which is evident through their architecture, which can be seen all over the world. This is a culture of free energy, healing centers, and abundance. Though a lot of these beautiful structures were destroyed, many still stand today as museums, government buildings, and even prisons. Just imagine living in a world that was filled with architecture like this. Do you think this was a place of lack, or do you think this was a place of prosperity? Now that we have seen some of the structures and landscapes from the people who were in power before the current government establishments, let's see who were these people who built such beautiful structures and cultures. The true builders of the old world. Holy Roman Emperor of Germany, Carlos V. Emperor Menelik of Ethiopia. Alexander II, King of Scotland. Frederick II, Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. Giovanni Moro, Governor of Sicily under the Emperor Frederick II. King James I of England and VI of Scotland, and Queen Anne of Denmark. Faustine I, Emperor of Ayeti. Empress Adelina of Ayeti. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, also known as Saint Maurice. Rastafari, Haile Selassie. King Louis XV, King of France.
The houses of the Blackheads. These are the most beautiful new palaces or old palaces in Europe, in my estimation. You see, they were built in 1334, but they were destroyed in 1941, and then they were rebuilt in 1999. And they were rebuilt according to the old diagrams, but with new technology and new engineering. And so they're absolutely gorgeous inside and out. Why on earth would anybody call a house, the House of the Blackheads. Well, it's interesting, if you go into the house, you will see many sculptures and paintings of Africans, and even next to the gate, one of the images on the front gate is a black man. Okay, that's wonderful, but what's the story? He was Mauricio, or Moritz, and he was a military leader about the 4th century or so, and this man was very venerated for his courage and for fighting on behalf of the church, and he was brave and all of these wonderful things. And then when he died, he was canonized and actually turned into a saint. So he was a warrior who became a saint. If you walk inside, there's amazing art. There's murals, there's chandeliers, there's carvings, and there's even a glass floor that shows what Riga was like in the 700s, in the 800s, because underneath this cobblestone square are ruins of the civilization that lived here before there was even written records of them. It's a very interesting and a historic place.
I heard something interesting yesterday, and I have no proof of it, but it just felt right. I heard that Malcolm X was talking about, before he died, that actually black people are indigenous to Tartaria America. And wouldn't that be so interesting if that were true? That they made up all these lies about how no one was here, and they didn't steal the land or the buildings from anyone. They came here and made it themselves. And then they treated black people the worst ever. It feels like they're trying to hide from all people of color that they're indigenous to here. Well, specifically black people too. That's what I keep hearing. And you know, you think about like the pyramids, the like Egyptian relics in the Grand Canyon, you know? And you go, yeah, maybe, you know, that feels right. It feels like, you know, if a bunch of white supremacists decided they wanted to take over the entire world, you would kind of have to do that, right? You'd have to say, you don't get to have this place, and you never lived here, you know? You got to disconnect people from the land.
These are just a short list of the illustrious people and cultures who have left an indelible mark on history. Despite the legacy, impact, and importance that these people have had on the world, their identity, accomplishments, and achievements have been stolen and deliberately hidden from the world in an attempt to reduce them to this. And this. To promote the idea of this. So they can treat some people like this. I have come to notice the phrase divide and conquer has been more prevalent in my mind, as the key is to separate you from your thoughts, separate you from your family, separate you from your community, separate you from your connection to the divine, separate you from truth, and separate you from history. But we are here to change that.
I don't want to be
alone. This is the turning.